What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with the second part of my Getting Back on Track mini-series with another What I Eat in a Day to Lose Weight as a Petite Person. I've put on a little bit of weight while in quarantine and I'm just looking to get back to my pre-ISO weight. After I uploaded my first video in this series last week, my husband was asking why someone would want to know a weight loss meal plan specific to a 5-foot tall height. Why I think that there is an interest in this is because the amount of calories to lose weight when you're a little bit more petite will be very different compared to someone who is 5 or more inches taller trying to do the same thing. Exercise, of course, goes towards your daily expenditure, but majority of the energy you burn in a day is actually related to your basal metabolism, which is literally the amount of energy your body needs to function and basically keep us alive. How much energy you need is affected by a lot of factors like your age, gender, your body composition. Unless you're super ripped, generally taller people will need more energy to just normally function than a shorter person would. So when eating out or ordering in, cafe and restaurant menus are generally catering their portion sizes for the average patron, which can be more food than needed if you happen to be shorter than average. Then it can be kind of hard to gauge, yeah? When a plate of food is put in front of you and you kind of feel like you have to finish it all, otherwise it would be a little bit wasteful. Anyways, there are so many factors that contribute to what a healthy calorie range would be for each of us. What I think is important is to try to make healthy food enjoyable and find a balance that works for you. Healthy food should still taste and look good, and I think it's good for our mental health to not restrict yourself if you feel like having a cheat meal here and there. Because if you're not happy and not enjoying life or the food that you're eating, it's not going to be sustainable, and I don't know about you, but I would be pretty miserable. Okay, so anyways, that's just some of my thoughts on this topic. Getting back to today's video, like in my last video, I'll be using the MyFitnessPal app to pre-plan my meals for the day to fit with a 1,200 calorie meal plan. And at the end of the day, I'll run through a quick summary of the macro and micronutrients as well. So here is what I ate in a day while I'm getting back on track. For breakfast, I had a stuffed cheese omelette that was 258 calories. I had this with a Nespresso latte, so for the whole meal, this came to 293 calories in total, and in terms of macros, this had 22 grams of protein, 12 grams of carbs, and 17 grams of fat. Following on from my last video where I had more carbs, I'm trying to up my protein and fat intake to balance out the carbs. I can't help it, I just really like bread and pastas and rice. Anyways, to make my omelette, I diced up 5 cherry tomatoes. And normally I wouldn't weigh out my veggies, but to keep track of the nutrients, I weighed out 25 grams of spinach. Then I weighed out 25 grams of shredded mozzarella cheese. I somehow managed to hit this on my first handful that I dumped in, which is amazing. That never happens. Then I cracked 2 large eggs into a bowl, seasoned it with some salt and pepper, and scrambled it all up. Using a good non-stick pan so that I don't have to add any extra oil, I chucked in the egg to cook. I'm swirling it around to get the egg to cook in a more even layer. Once it's partially set on the surface, I add in the spinach first. then the cherry tomatoes on top to sort of weigh down the leaves, and finally the mozzarella cheese on top. Then, carefully lifting the edge, I flip the unloaded half over the top and press down to help keep the whole omelette together. Allow it to cook so that the center egg fully cooks up and the cheese starts to melt, using your spatula to press down every now and again to keep it all together. Once the cheese is nice and melted, turn off the heat. Then I removed the omelette from the pan onto a waiting plate and topped it with some squiggles of tomato sauce. And plucking a couple of basil leaves from my basil plant, I rolled them up and snipped them into strips to garnish and add extra flavor. For my coffee, I used my usual Caramelito Nespresso capsule and 1/3 cup of oat milk to make it into a latte. I got these Sesame Street cups from a friend as a Kris Kringle a couple of years ago, and this Cookie Monster cup is so cute. Anyways, this latte was 35 calories in total. This was a pretty filling breakfast, and again, with my coffee, it came to a total of 293 calories for this meal. It was a nice and warm day, so for lunch, I had a really refreshing deconstructed sushi bowl. This deconstructed sushi came to a total of 326 calories, 7 grams of protein, 46 grams of carbs, and 14 grams of fat. To start off with, I weighed out how much cucumber I was going to use. I used slightly over 150 grams of cucumber. For the base of the plate, I portioned out 3/4 cup of mixed white and black rice. I like to batch cook my rice for the week, and I usually use 1 part of black rice to 2 parts of white rice because black rice adds some extra nutrients like magnesium. It also changes the rice to a nice purple color, which I think is kind of cute. Then I'm just dicing up my cucumber to little cubes. Then I'm grabbing a medium avocado. It's always so much anticipation when I open one up. This one came out perfect. But I honestly find it so hard to time picking a perfect avo. It can either still be rock hard or completely mushy on the inside. Cue all of the avocado memes. Okay, I've sliced up my avocado into a grid of cubes. Then I'm just topping my rice with all of my diced cucumbers, then my avocado, and spreading them all around. Then finally, I'm topping the plate with 1 tablespoon of furikake, which is a Japanese mixed sesame seed seasoning. To add more flavor, I finished it off by drizzling on 1/2 tablespoon of soy sauce. This is a great, filling, but refreshing summer meal, and now that we're moving into spring in Melbourne, we're starting to get some warmer days. This lunch again was a total of 326 calories. After lunch, I took a short walk to my local convenience store to pick up some milk and eggs that we ran out of. It was such a nice day. I'm so amazed how much sunlight can make such a difference to my mood, especially since we're still in lockdown and being cooped up in the house. It was so nice to get outside for a bit of fresh air. As an afternoon snack, because it was a warm day, I made an iced matcha latte. I used the matcha from Matcha Maiden because I really like the flavor, just half a teaspoon of matcha per serve, and it's loaded with antioxidants. I dissolve the matcha in a splash of hot water first, fill it up with cold water and some ice, then finish it off with 1/3 of a cup of cold frothed oat milk. I love that this milk frother can do both hot and cold. I had this with a handful of cherry tomatoes as an afternoon snack that came to 55 calories in total. For dinner, I had oven roasted garlic barramundi with some rice and steamed veggies. This came to 420 calories, 55 grams of protein, 37 grams of carbs, and 5 grams of fat. This was really simple to make. I've got 2 large fillets of barramundi because I'm cooking also for my hubby. I sliced each fillet in half and spread them out in a layer in an oven-safe dish. Then I seasoned it with some salt, pepper, and some dried mixed herbs. Then I added about 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. I'm using the bottled kind here because it's just so convenient, and I spread all of the seasoning mixture on the fish, making sure to coat the bottom layers as well. Then I just put it into a preheated oven to bake for about 20 to 30 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius till fully cooked. While that's baking, I prepared 3/4 cup of mixed black and white rice. Again, I just cook 1 part black rice to 2 parts of white rice for this. And I'm preparing to steam 2 portions each of this frozen carrot, cauliflower, and broccoli veggie mix. Normally, I prefer the taste of fresh veggies, but I didn't have enough for that night, so this is a handy option for something quick and when you haven't had the chance to do a full grocery shop yet. To steam the veggies, I just chucked them into a pot on a medium-low flame, poured some hot water to just cover the bottom of the pot, then placed the lid on to steam. Once it was done, I just seasoned it with some salt and pepper and added it to the rice on my plate. When the fish was done baking, I grabbed one of the bigger portions that was about 250 grams. I was really trying to keep the fish all together in one fillet, but I was really struggling, and I completely failed. This fillet did not want to stay together. Now, this is me trying to salvage it so it looks like it's all together on my plate. Also failed. This fish was too far gone. That's okay, it still tasted really good. I topped it with a sprinkling of furikake, then I got a lemon from my little lemon tree outside and squeezed on some lemon juice. And that was my dinner, which was a total of 420 calories. After dinner, I finished off the night with some fruits. I sliced up 1 medium navel orange and about 6 strawberries. This came to 104 calories in total. Okay, so let's go through a summary of my full day of eating. In total, I had 1,198 calories, which was just 2 calories off from my 1,200 goal. For meals, my calories for breakfast and lunch were pretty balanced, and I had a heavier dinner. In terms of macros, the last time I had more carbs, so I really tried to up my protein and fat intake, and that's definitely reflected in the numbers here, so I'm pretty happy about that. Moving on to the nutrients breakdown, I hit the fiber target, and this time my sugar was within the recommended amount. I went over the cholesterol recommendation again, but that's just from eating 2 eggs. Is this app trying to tell me I can't have 2 eggs in a day? That sounds a little bit restrictive. But I also had a fair amount of vitamins and calcium. Overall, this seems to be a pretty well-balanced day of eating. Alright, so that was the second episode in this mini-series of me getting back on track. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did enjoy it, please like, share, comment, and subscribe because it really helps support my channel, and I'll be back next week with another video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!